The news just out about the vaccine to fight coronavirus is really great and historic news in this effort to protect ourselves from coronavirus. It was the front page story of every newspaper, major newspaper in America. This morning, the New York Times, another vaccine appears to work against the virus. Another vaccine, that's two. One with about 94% effectiveness, the other 90% effectiveness. These numbers are remarkable. Just think about not that long ago, Dr. Fauci said if we could come up with a vaccine that was 50% effective, that would be really good news. As a doctor, I will tell you this is a modern day medical miracle. And it may be by the end of this year, 20 million Americans may be able to be started during the vaccine process. This is tremendous news. When you take a look at the spike that we're seeing in coronavirus cases around the country and around the world, this vaccine truly is the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's made possible by the commitment of the Republican majority in the Senate and this administration and our efforts to focus on Operation Warp Speed. Now, at the same time we've been doing this, the Democrats have seemed to be rooting for failure. Started with Joe Biden saying he wasn't sure that a vaccine was even real. Kamala Harris in the vice presidential debate said that if there was Donald Trump said that there was a vaccine that worked, she would not take it. And Nancy Pelosi in her $3 trillion so-called HEROES Act, she has more money in that to do direct paychecks to illegal immigrants than she does to help with a vaccine. And last week, when the first news came out about Pfizer being 90% effective, what did the governor of New York have to say? The governor of New York had to say this about all this good news. He said, the bad news. The bad news is that it's about 2 months before Joe Biden takes over. And that means, he said, this administration is going to be implementing a vaccine plan. This administration is going to implementing a vaccine plan. And he calls that bad news. My question for the governor of New York and Democrats who think like him is, why is it bad news that American ingenuity and invention and investment could come up with such record-breaking efforts to develop a vaccine? Why is it bad news that families will be able to have parents get back to work and kids get back to school and the great American comeback to happen that much faster? Why is it bad news that millions, if not tens of millions of people in America and around the world will have their lives saved by this vaccine? This is something to celebrate. This is a success for the world to turn to America and say, you have done it and you have done it right. Maybe that's the reason that the Democrats call it bad news.